Aloha, shalom. We are live for the new moon activation. I just want to show you guys where we're live from. We're outside today, and it's been a while since we've gone live from outside. So I just wanted to show you we're in the red rocks of Sedona. Feeling the power of the Red Rock Mountains, and it's super windy, so we're getting the nice power of the wind element for this activation. Aloha, aloha, shalom. And it's Shabbat tonight, so Shabbat shalom to everyone who celebrates. And Shabbat is really a ritual for anyone who wants to celebrate the harmonization and unification of the two within the one, and the many within the one. So Shabbat shalom to everyone. So this activation is the new moon activation, and as you guys know, or I mean, unless you're a first time, as you guys know, these activations don't actually have anything to do with the moon. The moon is just a measurement of time. It's how we measure the time to meet 4 times a month. So these activations happen every quarter, every week. And so the new moon is reflecting to us the truth that we're experiencing a new beginning right now. The darkness of the sky is reflecting to us the infinite potential of creative possibilities right now. So it's a blank slate for us. Time for us to welcome in the new cycle. So let me know where you're tuning in from in the world. I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. These activations have been happening for years now. Super awesome to see the people who have been repeat activators. Sorry if there's lots of noise going on right now outside. So some of you are repeat activators and some of you are new. And it's so cool to see everyone tuning in from all over the world and seeing this web of light that we're creating globally. So let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from, so that all of our brothers and sisters can see how far this web is spreading. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my little tarot blanket here. Good to see you guys. Kansas, Massachusetts, Germany, let me know where you're tuning in from. Georgia. Michigan, another Kansas, Long Island, New York. There's a little plane going by there. Someone's asking what's in the sky. No clouds in the sky today. Super bright blue, endless blue sky. Maryland, Ontario, Canada. Yeah. So good to see you guys. Mendocino County, California, South Africa. What's up, everybody? Washington State. Yeah. Wisconsin, Manchester, UK. Let me know where you're tuning in from, you guys. Rhode Island, Kentucky. Sweet. Oregon. Yay. Mississippi. Sweet. India. Yes. Worldwide activation. Orange County, California, Southern Indiana. Yeah, all my people, worldwide tribe. Yay. Boston, what's up? All right, guys, so I'm just going to shuffle you into the deck here, shuffling in your energies. Feel free to connect however you know how. Florida, Ohio, what's up? Pennsylvania mountains, yay. So all the tribe is tuning in, all the star seeds, all the light beings, all the brilliant, radiant ones around the world tuning in here now to be present for this message. So go ahead and let go of whatever it is you've been carrying all day, all week, maybe even all year. Whatever heaviness, whatever cyclical thinking You've been carrying whatever heavy feelings you've been carrying. For this moment, we need to set it down. We need to put it aside because we need to tune into the infinite heart space to allow for this information to come in. So whatever's in the way of that, just let it go just for now. We have Vegas, New York, awesome. So if we're so full of other stuff, other thoughts, other things, however good or bad you want to judge them, we're still full. And we want to empty. We want to tune into that space so that we can open up for the message to come in. So go ahead and let it all go. Tune into the infinite expansiveness of your heart where we meet as one. And then go ahead and connect to the deck, understanding that these characters are personifications of laws that are fundamentally operative behind all things. That when you connect to these characters within yourself, and I connect to these characters within myself, we together connect to these characters that are the building blocks of all of creation. So when you tune into your inner magician and I tune into my inner magician, we tune into the inner magician archetype, that energy, that frequency that is within all things. That's powerful. So go ahead and connect to these characters, these aspects of the one, these parts of yourself, the archetypal alliance within. This is the new moon activation. So what we want to know today is, and thank you archetypes in advance for revealing these special tips to us as we begin this new cycle. What we want to know is, what is the theme for this month? What is the theme for this month? The first question I want to ask is, what is the current challenge that we're experiencing? And of course, this is going to be both collectively and individually, right? Because as with one, so it is with all. So what's the current challenge? And what's it for? What's the trophy we're working toward this month? That by the end of this month, we're going to go, yep, that's it. Okay, let's begin with the challenge. 6 of Pentacles. Check it out. We're working toward balance. Okay. Check it out. What a perfect card for this Libra supermoon, Libra energy. We're in Libra season. Perfect. See the scales? And it's all about how are we bringing in everything that we've learned, all of our lessons, all of our realizations, all of the gold of that. Check out the pentacle, this gold. How are we bringing that into this reality in a way that is going to help not only us, but those around us, in a way that's going to actualize what we learned for the highest good of the one? How can we bring everything we learned into our reality, actualizing it, crystallizing it in a way that is fair, in a way that is respectful, in a way that it supports not just the individual self, but the one self. So check it out. You see the scales in his hand? This is about bringing more balance into our reality in a way that reflects our belief that there is a fundamental balance to all things. Understanding that there is a balance in order back of all things. That within the chaos there is always an order. So when we understand this divine order of things, then we can see that reflected in our reality. So when we truly believe that, hey, when I have enough, when I have a lot, when my cup is overflowing, I'll give. And when I don't have enough, I will be given. When we can do that, it's reflecting our trust and belief that there is this order behind all things. So what we want to look for, because this is the challenge right now, what we want to look for is, where am I exhibiting lack consciousness? Where am I saying I don't have enough? I'll never have enough. I'll never be enough. And even bringing that to the collective reality. Where do I believe there will never be fairness and equality? Where am I believing in the world there will never be enough? There will never be balance. So it doesn't just have to be about yourself. It could be about a belief you have about somebody or a group of people or a place or anything. Where are we believing there is an imbalance in the world? And how can we neutralize that? So we have to look really closely, right? Because this is the challenge. So we have to look really closely at our beliefs, at our thoughts, which are reflecting our deeper beliefs. Where have we been sneakily believing that there's not allowed to be abundance? That there will never be abundance, that there will never be enough. And how can we also see our actions reflecting this belief? How can we see that maybe we've been the ones continuing that program because we're not opening to receive? Or maybe we're not giving when we need to give because we feel that if we give, we will never have enough because we'll always be giving. So a great way to start is within, right? Because that's where everything begins, the balance within. So how can we bring more balance there to then see it manifested without? Because we can't control everything. We don't want to start from the outside. We want to start from the inside. So what we do have control over is our own inner world and maintaining that balance. So something that's really important we can start with is examining how we may have a program where we always say, I'm such a giver, I'm such a giver, I'm always giving, I give, and I never receive, and I don't receive, and I never, and I don't, and I never, and I don't. What? Why? What do you mean? First of all, we're both givers and receivers, every one of us, because we're human. And in order to be here, we had to receive the breath of life, right? Like God breathed his breath into the nostrils of Adam, right? That whole original story, Genesis, which by the way, we're at in the Torah right now. We just finished and restarted the Torah. We just had the big Simchat Torah holiday. So very, very relevant right now. So in order to be here, we have to be receivers. Each moment we're receiving breath, the breath of life. We're receiving oxygen from the plants, from the trees. We're receiving communications, not only from other humans, friends, family, even strangers at your job, maybe, talking to humans all day. You're receiving them. We're receiving frequencies of all kinds every moment in order to not only just be sustained in our life force, right? The elementals keeping us alive, but also all kinds of frequencies. Ones that we don't even consciously identify, that we can't even consciously identify. Subtle frequencies. We're constantly receiving. You're receiving prayers from people and you don't even know it. We are receiving on so many levels. So why is it that so many of us just want to acknowledge the giving that we do? It's easy to see that, right? Because that's right in front of our faces. We're giving our energy. I'm talking to this person. I'm talking to that person. We recognize our active masculine force more than our receptive feminine magnetic force. So we recognize what we're giving, but we don't recognize enough what we're receiving every moment. And there is so much potential there to take so many things for granted. So we say, I'm giving my energy to this person. I'm giving my energy to that person. But what about the energy we're receiving every moment? So the best way we can start to acknowledge this challenge is by acknowledging that even totally unconsciously, we are giving and receiving each moment in order to just be here, in order to just be alive. Everything is about the balancing of the polarities. That's why we're here. if we transcend duality and we reach a higher dimension, if just in the mind, which is, it's possible, even while still in the body, if we do that, we're accessing higher worlds, and that's great, but we're in this one. We may come from those realms, but we're in this one. We're in this world, but not of it, right? So why are we here? To bring balance. That's the whole point of this card. And the only constant in life is change. So as changes are happening and as energy is fluctuating, we are the keepers of that balance. And it's constant maintenance. It's constant work. The work never ends. That's the beauty of why we're here. And that can be overwhelming because we want to acknowledge the imbalances in life. We want to acknowledge all of the ways in which there isn't balance. But how can we recognize that and begin to redirect our awareness into the proper channels to recognize all of the balance that already exists? Even penetrating all the way to the root of that concept with this idea that there is an eternal balance back of all things. So if we can penetrate through all the way to that seed of truth and hold that frequency, then we'll really be manifesting a world of balance from the inside out. Then we'll really be grasping the wholeness of this truth that this balance is always present. Even when we're directly perceiving an imbalance, if we can look through it, we'll find balance. Consider the Hermetic law that within each thing lies its opposite. Within the imbalance is the balance. So again, it's overwhelming when we look around us and see so much imbalance in the world. So we got to start inside. We have to start where it feels good, where we feel that we have some sense of control, not a false sense of control, but a healthy, I got this, I can manage this, because then it gives us an opportunity, a ritual to practice that balancing act in a way that's not overwhelming, in a way that's doable, in a way that's safe, in a way that feels empowering. So we can start with our own polarities, and the giving and receiving is a great way. You always hear this concept of we're created in the image of the Creator, right? That we want to be like God. That's overwhelming, right? Like, how do we do that? God is known as the all-virtuous, benevolent, giving light of compassion. God doesn't receive, but gives. It's an infinite source. And so if we want to be like the Creator, we want to be giving. But we can't help but receive because we're human. We're receiving each moment. So I just want to bring awareness to that, because when you think, oh, I'm such a giver, I give, I always give. Well, guess what? That's great. That's why we're here. We can't help but receive. So if you're giving, perfect. Maybe change your attitude about it. Why is it so bad that you're always giving? Maybe it's time to just redefine the ways in which you are giving. To look at that a little bit differently. To be proud of the giver that you are, but also the receiver. So know that you're both. Start there. And that brings so much balance to the table immediately. Look at the ways in which you are a giver, and look at the ways in which you are also a receiver. Inevitably. That we come here as both. We are transmitters. Givers and receivers of light. Another way that you can bring more balance to your life in a way that feels manageable, in a way that feels empowering, is to ask yourself, what are your definitions of masculine and feminine? What are your definitions of these two? Because guess what? Everything within and around us is a manifestation of these polar forces. In order for life to exist, these forces have to vibrate in opposition to maintain life, because when they're still, that life is neutralized, diffused, and there is death. or eternal life, however you want to look at it, right? So these forces of polarity make up our entire reality, within and without. So how we define these forces, masculine, feminine, active, receptive, however we define them, positive, negative, light, dark, right? We're ultimately defining our entire reality about ourselves and about our world. And we can be doing this unconsciously or consciously, or a combination of both. In fact, from the moment we come into this world, we are unconsciously taking on the definition of these polarities through the eyes of others, through the definition of others, through media, through our parents, through school, etc. And that's perfect. As a child, we're meant to just kind of soak that in, because what we're doing as a child and living in this more instinctive, reactive place and taking on the definitions, being more in our subconscious and our conscious, is we're allowing those lessons to be created for us that we're later in life going to reconcile. It's perfect. We're meant to make mistakes, to mess up, to just be wild and free, so that later we have material to work with. It's all a part of the plan. However, we take on all these definitions unconsciously, subconsciously. And as we become more conscious, and as we become more aware, and we become adults, it's important for us to ask ourselves, what are these definitions I've taken on of these forces of polarity, of the masculine and the feminine? And how has that affected and created my definition of my world, within and without? And there comes a time where, if we want to progress, we need to redefine carefully those polarities. What is the feminine force? What does it mean to be feminine, and what does it mean to be masculine? Outside of just how that looks as being embodied by a human, but how do those forces look in nature? How do they look in animals, in plants, in the world around me? And then you begin to redefine your entire reality. And then you can begin to ask yourself, how do these forces work together? Now that I've defined the two, how can I unite them as one? How can I allow them to work together for my highest good and for the highest good of the one? So these are just some examples, some ways that you can begin to understand the polarities within and without, and also reconcile them. Allow them to work in harmony. And what a beautiful message for this almost Shabbat day. Shabbat is all about unifying these polarities. So that's the challenge right now. Bringing balance to the world as a reflection of our true knowing that there's a balance really behind all things. And we need to tune into that. And if we've been too much on one side or the other, if we've been too much in our masculine energy or too much in our feminine energy, or too much in acknowledging the giver and not the receiver, or vice versa, it's time to reconcile that. It's time to neutralize that. It's time to look to the other side, the one that we haven't been looking at, the one that we haven't been acknowledging. So look deeper than what meets the eye. Look deeper than the surface. Like I said, it's so easy to see all the ways in which we're giving, but what are all the ways in which we're receiving each moment, just to be alive, just to be here? So it's time to bring our realizations in, all of our lessons in, all of the knowledge that we've been gathering. It's time to bring that in a way that is more balanced, in a way that really works here on this plane. Now, what is this for? I'm going to flip the second card, and this is the final card for the reading. What is this new moon foreshadowing? By the end of this month, what's the lesson that we will have integrated? And this is going to be supported by this work we're doing right now in bringing in this balance. Four of Swords. Rest, integration. So what does that look like? How is that connected to everything we just spoke about right now? When we can bring more balance into our reality. I see this very clearly, and let me know if this resonates with you in the comments. When we bring more balance into our reality and we begin to actualize our lessons in a way that works for one and all, in a way that's not selfish, but in a way that is collectively understood and applied, then we can really finally rest in the knowing that we're doing a good job. Then we can finally breathe. Take a break from all the madness that we've been experiencing, not only in our individual lives, but also in our collective world. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and it's insane. And all of us just want to break. We just want to break. But we feel that there's more to be done. We don't feel quite ready to rest, to put down our sword. We feel like we're still fighting the fight. We're still going through so many challenges, and it doesn't feel like they're over yet. It doesn't feel like it's time to rest yet. It feels like there's still more to be done. And I feel the message here with these two cards together is saying that we just have a little more to do to bring ourselves into balance, to feel good about the work that we're doing, to actualize what we've learned, so that we can then take a break from the challenges. So that we can finally rest and say, you know what, I've done my best. There's not much more I can do right now. I need a damn break. And that's what's coming at the end of the month. So hang in there. Know that we're doing the last bits of work that we need to do with the challenges we've been going through. So whatever your current challenges, whatever current challenges you've been going through, there are a couple more pieces to this puzzle. Hang in there. Do what you know is right. Continue to do what you know is right. Stick to your values. Stick to your morals. Stick to your beliefs. Act from that space of knowing. Trusting in the balance of all things. Trusting in the unfolding of this divine order. Knowing that nothing is outside of that. And you will get this break. This well-deserved break. You've been fighting. You've been challenged. You've been called to rise up. You've been called to level up. You're sweating. You're stressed. You're doing big work. And you're going to get that rest really soon. We're going to get that rest. We've been going through so much. We're going to have this rest in order to integrate all that we learned. Otherwise, we're going to tap out, right? So that's coming. The rest is coming. We're going to have that moment to relax. And then what comes after the Four of Swords? The Five of Swords. We'll finally come to some conclusion. We'll get past this. Moving on to the next challenge. But we are coming to the end of this one. So just hang in there. Just hang in there. Continue to do what you know is fair. Continue to do what you know in your heart, not just in your mind, but in your heart of hearts. Continue to do what you know there is right. And if you do that, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong if you act from that place. And that's the best we can do, especially when it feels overwhelming, when you feel like you've been fighting for so long, but you act from this place. There's nothing else you can do. Just keep trusting in divine order. Keep moving from your heart. And know that it's going to be all right, and the story's going to keep going. It's a cycle. It's a circle. It's never ending. And it's all working, unfolding based upon divine order. So just keep going. And the best thing you can do when you feel lost, when you feel you don't know what to do, when you feel overwhelmed, is remember the ultimate goal of why we're here is to bring more balance into our world. Hello, Libra season. Perfect message for Libra sun and moon. Perfect message for Libra sun and moon. To remember the whole reason of why we're here is to bring more balance into our lives each moment, to reconcile the opposites. This is the goal of the Hermetic path. So when you feel entangled by the material details of your reality and you don't know which way to go, you don't know what else to do, you feel overwhelmed, simplify your method. Remember that the goal is just to bring more balance. And when it's becoming too much out there, go back to in here. Your inner high priestess, whether you're a man or a woman, we all have this archetype, is the one that is this body that maintains and sustains the balance within. We all have that. That's a part of all of us. So remember that, High Priestess. Remember that gatekeeper that you are, that your body is. Take care of your body because it's the keeper of that balance. It's the Ark of the Covenant. So how can you bring your focus back to this balance and say to yourself, I know that the ultimate goal is balance, and so I got a little caught up in the details of my life. I got a little caught up in my story, but let me bring it back. Let me simplify. Let me tune into my own energy and see where I've been too active or too receptive, where I've been acknowledging only my receiver self or only my giver self. And let me bring balance to that. Look at the scales in his hand. You are so supported in doing this right now, more than ever, more than ever. So how can I just simplify? How can I close my eyes and forget the outside world for a moment and just ask myself, what can I do right here, right now, within my mind, within my body, within my being to bring more balance? Maybe I've been exerting too much physical energy. Maybe I need to rest. Maybe I need to meditate. Maybe I need to do yoga. Maybe I need to stretch. Maybe I need to breathe. Maybe I've been thinking too much. Maybe I need to let go and clear my mind, empty my mind, and stop trying to come to a conclusion or make a decision right now. Maybe I just need to be okay with not knowing, right? Bring more balance. How have I been so focused on all the ways in which I'm giving? I'm giving too much. I feel everybody's taking my energy. I'm doing. And how about acknowledging, not only thinking to myself, what are the ways in which I can begin to receive? How can I create more opportunities to receive? Don't be fooled, because then you're still in your active force. Then you're still creating, trying to make happen. No, allow. Recognize the ways in which you're already a receiver. That's who you came here as, and just being human. Give thanks. If you've been so stuck in this, I'm giving too much, just stop, slow down, and give thanks to the elements, to the wind, for your breath, to the air, for your breath, to the fire, for your spirit, to the water, for your ability to feel and heal, to the earth that you walk upon, supporting you each moment. How dare you forget? No way. These elements are giving to you each moment. And when you begin to direct your awareness there, it kind of takes your mind out of your little story of the details of your material life and brings you back into balance. Helps you cultivate the gratitude that is necessary to thrive in this reality. It takes you out of the victimization mindset so that you can return to wholeness, to gratitude, to the understanding that even though you think you are more this and less that, you're both, always. That there's a balance behind all things. And that's where we want to return to. That's always what we want to return to. So, perfect message with this Libra, Sun and Moon. Tune inward. Surrender what you don't have control over. Don't focus on the overwhelm. Close your eyes, go within, and do whatever you can do to bring more balance into your own being, into your own body, into your own mind, and into your life. And then ultimately, that will reflect inevitably into our shared world. All right, you guys, I'm so excited about this message. I'm gonna sit with it for a bit myself. It's a beautiful day here. I'm really enjoying the winds and the elementals, so that's where I'm gonna start with my personal balance. And I've been sitting more with my feminine energy, my receptivity, doing the work just like you all are. So I appreciate you being with me here now, always doing the work. I wanted to share with you some cards that I've decorated in the past few days. If you guys are new to this, I'll let you know I published a book in March. It's called The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. You can find it on Amazon if you type in The Royal Path Activating. But I also would love to ship you a copy personally, because if you order from me, I include one of these handmade bookmarks. I collect tarot cards of all kinds, but I only ever use my same couple of decks. So I just get these random cards or rare decks so that I could decorate them as bookmarks for you when you order my book. So I've made these new ones in the past few days. They're really fun and unique. put a lot of love into them. So I include these as bookmarks with my books when you order. So let me know. Also, our weekly class has been going amazing. I'm loving it so much. We just did card 17 yesterday. We've been doing this for weeks. We've been doing it for over 20 weeks now. We've done cards 0 through 17 as well as some bonus classes. They're all recorded. They happen live on Zoom weekly, but they're all recorded because I know we're all on different timelines. So it's very convenient in that way. So if you've been wanting to learn tarot, if you've been wanting to dive into the occult symbolism within each card, these classes are an hour to an hour and a half long. They're so awesome. You can't find this information in a book. At the end of every class, everyone gets to share their perspective on the card. It's so unique. And again, it's not something you'll find in a book. So it's really awesome if you're wanting to jump in the classes. Some people like to start with 0, the Fool. Some people like to go one by one or buy a bundle of classes, or they like to pick a specific card that they want to learn more about. Some people just want to jump in for the live. So if you're wanting to experience this with us, go ahead and private message me and let me know, and I'll send you the information. We also have a private group on Facebook called The Royal Path. By the way, Tarot means royal path in Egypt. In ancient Egypt, these cards were inscribed on golden plates, and these plates were a technology or a guiding force for the ancient civilization. And even before that, this is a story, the Tarot, the Royal Path. This is a story that's written into our DNA. And that's what my book is about, the Royal Path. So if you want to learn more about the real of the Tarot, reach out and let me know how I can assist you. And feel free to just join our private group, the Royal Path, on Facebook. It's so awesome. There's such a great community in there. And there's no fluffy stuff posted in there, just real information, archetypal awareness and archetypal activation to help us grow individually and collectively. So go ahead and join that. It also is Shabbat tonight, so I'll be sharing the current Torah portion in our private group called Shabbat Crew. I'll be sharing some of my favorite videos explaining the Kabbalistic insight around the current Torah portion. So that's not, this Jewish mysticism is not just for Jews, it's for anyone who wants to understand the magic of the technology of the Torah, which is available to anyone who wants to take a deeper look. So happy new moon, happy new beginning, happy new opportunity to bring more balance into your life, to give up the victimization mindset, to give up the lack consciousness, and begin to step into the knowing that there is a balance within all things, and that balance is being manifested right here, right now, through us. And I'm so honored to be continuing this work with you all. Many blessings. I will see you all on Thursday for our next class. Shabbat Shalom.